Hello everyone, welcome back. Well, it's Tuesday, January 14th. Well, the last time we talked it was about school shootings, and sadly enough, our first conversation tonight will be about the same. Today there was another shooting at a school in New Mexico. It's a sad, sad sight. A 12-year-old boy brought a gun to school and he shot another 12-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl. Very bravely, a teacher walked up to him and demanded he hand the gun over. And that teacher's darn lucky they didn't get shot. The best thing to do in a case like that is just get out of their way. But the good part was there just happened to be a cop outside who was dropping his kid off at school. So somebody went out and told him what was happening, and he came in and arrested the kid. Nobody else got hurt. It's like an epidemic of shootings anymore. Every time I turn on the news, it's like I hear about a kid killing somebody. Which again brings me back to the same subject. The motive for these unfortunate murders. Teasing, being picked on. I'll bet once the authorities check into it, they'll find that that boy was unmercifully teased by a lot of people. Probably the two that he shot are the ones that were giving him the most trouble. So now his life's pretty much over. He'll never be able to go back to school, and he's only 12. He's probably going to end up going to jail for a while. Well, maybe a juvenile facility because of his age down in Mexico. I don't know what the laws are about that. I didn't even hear if the two people he shot died or not. But they were probably seriously injured, 12 and 13. But you know what? I can't feel sorry for them. You know, when you hear about these school shootings, you know, the news pretty much just focuses on the victims and their parents and all that. Let's talk about the real victim, the shooter himself. You know, these kids who get shot by other kids in school, and teachers who get shot by kids in school. They may seem nice on the outside, but those kids are damn bullies. And they're gonna bully and bully people until somebody puts a stop to it. Unfortunately, until now, the only way it's been stopped is with bloodshed. You know, the teachers who often get shot, they shouldn't even be teaching. You know, if you're not a people person, you don't like working with kids, you have an attitude problem, you got no business being a teacher. And if you look at the history of some of the teachers who've been shot over the last 10 years, you'd find, I'm sure, that so they weren't the type of people who had any business working with kids. And again, I have to say to teachers, principals, and school counselors, damn it, it's time to wake up. It's time to look facts in the face. The reason this damn bloodshed is going on is because you are allowing these bully kids to pick on innocent kids. That's what's happening. And often it's the very popular, well-liked kids that are doing the teasing. So you probably think, well, they can't be doing anything wrong since they're the good kids. Well, I got news for you. Those so-called good kids are very bad kids. And it's time, and every teacher, principal, and school counselor in this country has got to finally put their foot down and say no more. When they see these kids being bullied, teased, when the kids come to them asking for help, they cannot ignore it anymore. They have got to help these kids, and they've got to punish the bullies. And you know, so often these kids, they get backed into a corner and they're forced to fight. You know, I had a school counselor told me one time, alright, at her school she was in charge of discipline, and the law told her she had to suspend the kid who does the hitting. But they don't even consider the reason why that kid got hit. I'll bet you that kid, most of the time, he took one of those innocent kids and backed him into a corner, and that kid got tired of it after a while and struck back. So what happens? The bully kid gets away free, and the victim gets suspended. No more! Wake up! As long as this nonsense continues to go on, people are going to die. And I even say this to every police officer in the United States. Wake up and look facts in the face. You know, when you go to these school shootings, all you see are the dead victims. Oh, remember too why they're dead. Remember what they did to that person who did kill them. Remember think of the hell that person went through to drive them to that point. And the judges in the United States, the ones who deal with kids, I tell you, take that in consideration when you're sentencing them. I mean, I know once they kill somebody or even shoot somebody, you can't let them get off scot-free. There has to be consequences. But when you're sentencing them, think about it. Just think about what they went through to drive them to that point. You know, the message the World Wrestling Entertainment has been putting out about anti-bullying is a very good, very positive thing. Think about what they're saying. Don't be a bully. And I even say this to teachers who seem to get out of line with kids. You know, if other teachers see that happening, you have a responsibility to report them, to deal with them. This cannot be allowed. Bullying has to stop, or more people are going to die. And that's all I have to say about that subject for tonight. On a happier note, today I just turned 48. And you know what I did? I have a little room over here where I set my DJ system up. And I use it for an exercise room now. For about 2 hours I trained really hard. Worked with that jump rope. Did every exercise you could think of. Worked out with the weights. And you know what? I feel great. I feel better now than I did when I was 14 or 19. Yeah, a 48-year-old man like me who's got this gray on his beard, or you see the wrinkles under his eyes. Don't let that fool you. Yeah, sometimes I challenge kids to races and I win. I mean, these are teenagers who can run really quick. They can't keep up with me. And you know, to be in that kind of physical shape at my age, it's a really good feeling. I'm sure glad I stayed off the cigarettes my whole life. You know what it's like just to be able to breathe. You know, exercise, it really makes a world of difference. It's the best thing in the world for you, and don't let anyone tell you different. You know, to be 48 years old and still feel like you're a teenager, or to even feel better. So words just can't describe that. Like another man who believed in exercise said, "Long live living long." That was from my longtime idol, Jack Mullane. You know, when he was 80 years old, he chained 94 rowboats to his leg and swam a mile. Well, you know, when I'm 80, I'm going to chain 104 rowboats and swim 5 miles. You know, I just feel so good. You don't know what it's like to really be able to love life the way I do. I have a passion, you know. I can't wait for the weather to get better so I can go out and jogging again. When I can't jog in the winter, the jump rope pretty much takes its place, and jumping jacks and other things. Yeah. You know, the snow all melted here in Shingle House tonight. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, I'm gonna get out there and do about a mile. Physical fitness is such a great thing. You know, it can help you live longer and healthier and to feel better. Hey, at my age, I still love to get out on that dance floor and shake a leg. I know a lot of people my age who they spend the rest of their lives as couch potatoes, just watching TV, smoking, eating, drinking, not doing anything else. And they pay for it too. You know, I just had the doctor examine my heart this year, had him do a full x-ray, the whole 9 yards, and you know what? My heart is in perfect condition. And at my age, I still love to do heavy work. This summer I'll be doing landscaping again. You know what it's like picking up those big heavy rocks when you're building gardens, what it's like taking a manic when you're digging up that ground. Or sometimes when people hire you to clean up messes in their fields and yards, like taking old lumber and cutting it up, and being able to do it just with a handsaw, cutting it all into firewood. That's great exercise and it really feels good. Well, at my age, I can still do roofing work. I can do so much. And it's just a tremendous feeling. You know, when I was a young kid, unlike other kids, I didn't have any interest in drugs or smoking or drinking. Yeah. I never smoked a cigarette a day in my life. Never wanted to, and I never will. It sure feels good to be able to breathe. I never used drugs in my whole life either. And you know what? You know, to be able to do the things I do at my age. You know, I look forward to the rest of my life. I live life with a passion that I could not have lived if I had hurt myself when I was younger. You know, kids when they're younger, all they want to do is hurt themselves, it seems. And you know what? It's just not worth it. It isn't. Because that fun is very short-lived. You know, I see people these days, you know, a lot of people my age couldn't even try to jog or exercise the way I do because their body's in such bad shape. And all they want to do is sit in front of the TV set and pig out and smoke. And it's just such a waste. You know, these people aren't even living. They're just existing. I mean, it's one thing to be alive, but it's another thing to feel like you're alive. And I really feel like I'm alive. You know, I thank God every day that I'm strong and healthy. It's because I took up exercise and took care of myself when I was very young. And you know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite now that I'm, an adult. I do drink. But I was smart. I waited till I was 21 to drink. You know, that age, drinking age is there for a reason. Kids cannot handle alcohol. When they start drinking when they're little, you know, it's much, much easier to get hooked, and it does far more damage. It's the same thing with smoking. These kids who aren't smoking when they're very young. I mean, now, I know somebody who can hardly walk. She smokes so bad her whole insides are just all messed up. She started when she was just a little child. A lot of people hate their birthdays. Well, you know what? I love them. I can actually say I'm proud to be 48. Because I don't feel 48. You know, I can't wait to get out and dance again. And you know, even though I drink sometimes, I admit I've had a few drunks in my life, but you know, it's not something I do all the time, and I'm responsible. I don't drink and drive. You know, you don't do any of that stuff when you're a kid. When you get older, once in a while you can do it. You can go out and have some fun. But there's reasons why kids can't have that kind of fun. It just messes them up. I hope everybody, you know, can feel this good when they're my age. I remember last year when I was working at that antique store in Hornell I used to work at. Like, I could carry furniture up to the 4th floor and back down with my bare hands. Some of it was really heavy, but you know what? I felt great when I was doing it. And as a DJ, you know, I have to load and unload some very, very heavy equipment. But you know what? It doesn't hurt. Oh, I admit when the show's over at the end of the night, I'm tired and I can't wait to rest. But you know, while the show's going on, while I'm setting up and everything, I just feel great. Oh, I thank God again that I have the strength to do all that. Yeah. You know, to any kid right now under the age of 12, I'll tell you this. Stay off the drugs your whole life. Stay off the cigarettes your whole life. Wait till you're 21 to drink. Because you'll be so. If you do all that now, you'll be happy you did later. And you know what? This year, how I celebrated my birthday? Even though today's actually my birthday, I DJ'd Saturday night. And the town I live at in Pennsylvania, Shingle House, it's about a half-hour's drive from Wellsville, New York. Their Elks Club had me play for their yearly Christmas party. Yeah, here it is January, and they just had me play for their members' Christmas party. But hey, they all opened gifts to each other and had a good time, and then they all came downstairs to the bar where I was set up and drank and danced and just had a good old time. And I ended up getting a birthday cake from one of the stores in Roswell, and it was a big sheet cake, and set it up in there, and everyone in the bar ate with me. And you know what? I didn't have one single drink all night long. Not one. Just a couple cans of soda. You know, I had a good time that night. I was able to get out and dance for a while. People got up on my mic and sang. I got up and sang with them. You know, it was just good, clean fun. And I really hope I can have a lot more birthdays.